Have you ever felt like you're on the verge of breaking through to the next level? Almost as if you've mastered everything you can master at this point in your life. And to move forward, you have to grow in new and different ways. Well, I'm in that spot right now. I feel like I'm at the cusp of a new level. And to enter into it, I need to let go of things that no longer serve me and start new habits and routines that will foster my growth at the next level. So, after giving it a lot of thought, I've determined the 6 habits and routines I'm adding to my life to help me become my next level self. Hey there, I'm Raya Reeves, and over a decade ago, I turned my life around through budgeting. I went from being an overspender deep in credit card debt to being the founder and full-time money coach of City Girl Savings. Now, I help women work towards their dream life and tap into their financial power one budget at a time. I fully believe you can live a life you love with a budget, and I'm living proof. The weekly City Girl Savings podcast focuses on the intersection of money and the City Girl lifestyle. Join me every week along with some special guests as I share my experiences, advice, and guidance on navigating life and money as an experience-loving millennial. So let me start by saying that no one knows the future. No one knows what life is going to throw at us. And keeping that in mind, I'm 100% confident in my ability to change direction, switch gears, course correct whenever I need to. In the past, I could have a one-track mind and not see when it was time to change things up, almost as if like I had to reach the goal, even if the goal needed to be changed. I'm not perfect at it, but I have gotten a lot better, and having faith and trusting God and the universe has contributed to my improvement there. So with that said, while I have every intention of fully immersing myself in these habits that will help me become my next level self, I recognize that the habits may only serve me at this next level, and they may need to be changed again when I'm ready for the level above that. So I think going into it with that mindset of, hey, this could be temporary, it could be long term, but this is what I need to do right now and not focus so far in the future will really benefit me. I also recognize that if these habits aren't serving me at my next level self, they will need to be reevaluated and changed as needed. So I got to trust that I will know when it's time to do things different, just like I am in this spot right now, and then do things different. I think I just wanted to say that out loud for accountability purposes. So now that I've kind of got that out of the way, moving into these new habits and routines with a sense of this is what I need to do in this period of my life right now. And if it needs to change, it can change. I am ready to share the habits with you. So let's dive in. The first next level habit that I'm adding to my life is to read as much as I watch TV. So this was a really hard habit for me to set because over the past few years, like really since I've taken City Girl Savings full time, I found myself using TV to check out. So whether it was like a lunch break, in between my calls, or just after a long day, I watch TV to forget about everything. I can get kind of sucked into shows. I can also get sucked into books. So that's why I'm saying I want to start reading as much as I watch TV. So while TV shouldn't be the go-to anymore, it can still be there. It just needs to be at the same level as reading. I think that like the previous version of Raya, like the previous version of myself, the one who could be so consumed with work and being busy that she needed to find a way to turn off her busy meter, if you will, that watching TV and checking out that way totally served me. But now I'm ready to get to the next level. So while I was using TV to relax and unwind, and while I still can do that, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think I just did it too much, or I'm doing it too much, and I want to change that. There are other ways for me to relax and unwind and check out. that can also help me learn more and become a better person. It's so funny because I kind of say the same thing to my clients. Like, if spending money is what helps you when you're bored, sad, excited, angry, whatever, then we need to find other ways outside of shopping and spending money to help you when you are feeling those things. So the same thing applies to me with watching TV. Now, you may remember one of my goals for 2023 was to read a new book every month. So in 2023, I definitely read more books, which is great, targeting that one new book a month, but I watched TV more than I read in 2023. So I am ready to change that. I want to change that. The habit that I'm implementing to become my next level self is to read as much as I watch TV. So, for example, if I watch a 45-minute episode of Charmed on my lunch break, I need to make sure that I read 45 minutes of a book that same day. And considering that I can watch 2 to 3 episodes a day, that shouldn't be a problem, right? If I can watch 2 Charmed episodes, I can reduce that to 1 Charmed episode and then read for the amount of time that the second episode would be playing. I'm not going to lie. This new habit scares me a little bit and makes me a little uncomfortable. So I'm sure there's something to unpack there, but I really do think it's what I need to become my next level self. Okay, next habit I want to implement is getting dressed every day. So I've actually been working from home, working remote since 2013. So even before City Girl Savings was anything, I was working from home. When my dad passed away back in 2013, I was working for a major financial institution in California. He passed away on June 6th, and July 31st was my last day in California. I went back to Austin and I worked in the customer experience department. It's kind of like compliance and complaint management. And I knew that this company that I was working for did not have a presence or a location in Austin, but I took a leave of absence anyways. I knew I was moving back to Austin, but I didn't really want to close that door on the company. And thank goodness I did. I got 3 months, to be on leave. It wasn't paid or anything, but my job was secured. And that gave me time to do the move back to Austin to grieve. And as my leave was coming to an end, so as that 3-month mark was approaching, I remember I was at the gym and I got a phone call from a peer who I guess had become a manager while I was gone. And he called me and he was like, hey, your leave of absence is coming to an end. We want to keep you. So how do you feel about working from home so that you can keep your job? The only catch was that I would have to transition to a different team. What a blessing, right? I mean, how freaking awesome. I wasn't expecting it, but I accepted. And that's how my work from home journey started way back before COVID, way back before everyone was working remote. I was doing it back in 2013. So since I was back home, I had lived in the house that I grew up in. Plus my dad had a vacant house that he had used as his own office. And the good thing about that was I could switch up my environment. So I could work from my home, or I could go and work from my dad's house just to change things up, but still be alone to work. And I will say before COVID, video really wasn't big. Yes, I worked from home, but it was phone calls all the time and Zoom meetings. Well, not even Zoom. I forget, WebEx, some platform, not on video. So before COVID, video was not big at all. So it really did not matter what I wore to the office, right? And I say office in quotations, but I did dress up. I was still used to getting dressed every day for work. So I did dress up. And I did so for a few years and then totally just stopped getting dressed for the day. Before I knew it, yoga pants and t-shirts were my normal attire unless I had to be on camera for something or I had to go somewhere in between work. If I had to be on camera, if I had meetings, then I would get dressed up, but it really wasn't often. So most of the time I was very comfortable. And when you work from home or you work for yourself, you really don't have anyone to impress. So why get dressed? And as I'm saying that, I cringe because that's so not a good way to think. It's the wrong attitude. I mean, impress yourself, right? I don't think I realized until just recently that the way I dressed or lack of getting dressed had a huge impact on how I felt. If I dressed frumpy, I felt frumpy. So, this is something that I want to change moving into a new year. The next habit that I'm adding to my life to become my next level self is getting dressed every weekday, with casual Fridays being an option. So, Monday through Thursday, I'm not allowing myself to wear yoga pants and basic t-shirts. No, I don't have to be full glam or anything like that, like makeup done, camera ready, but I need to be dressed. I don't need to be in yoga pants. And to be honest, I'm a few days into this new habit and I already feel better and more motivated while I'm at work. Are you loving this episode so far? Well, the money and life level up conversations never end in the City Girl Savings community. Visit citygirlsavings.com for instant access to resources that help you budget, level up your money mindset, and so much more. And make sure you stay up to date with CGS by following us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, all at City Girl Savings. Okay, next habit I want to implement to become my next level self, getting in the gym one time a week. So in episode 105, and I'll link to it in the show notes, I shared my personal and business goals for 2024. And one of those goals was to hit 10,000 steps Monday through Friday and have a high fiber diet. I got more specific with that goal because I already work out 5 times a week. So I typically work out from home Monday through Friday. That's not an issue. It's part of like my normal routine. It is not going anywhere. But like I said, they're done at home. And I actually like to go through different fitness programs that Sydney Cummings Hattishell offers. I'll link to her YouTube channel in the show notes because it's awesome. I have an adjustable dumbbell set that goes up to 50 pounds per dumbbell, so 100 pounds total. I've realized that the kinds of changes that I want to see in my body, I need to lift heavier than that. I think those dumbbells will work perfectly for 4 out of my 5 workouts, but I know I need to get in the gym at least 1 time per week and really up the weights that I use. So I'm not quite ready to go full force with a trainer and like a regular gym schedule, but I do want to commit to going to the gym at least once a week and spending my time there lifting as heavy as I possibly can. Now, I know myself very well. If I feel good in my body, it's going to translate into other areas of my life. And I've gotten so routine with my current workout practice, which is not a bad thing, but I recognize that it's time to switch it up and ultimately take it up a notch. So a definite requirement of me becoming my next level self. Not to mention, I have a gym membership. So I do go, before I kind of set this routine in place, I would go once every 2 weeks, once a month. It really just depends on what I was going through. But I have a gym membership, so I need to use it. All right. So the next habit and routine that I want to set to become my next level self is to devote time every week, so each week, to work on the business. Now, I want to combine that with getting a better calendar system in place. So if you are a business owner, you've probably heard that there's a difference between working in your business and working on your business. Basically, are you sucked into like the day-to-day administrivia of the business that you don't give yourself time to work on strategies for growing the business or becoming innovative? Well, that's me. At least it has been for the past year or so. And to be fair, I had every intention at the start of 2023 to grow and scale City Girl Savings, but between the economy and the need for me to focus on my mom's health, it just didn't happen. You know, after my mom died, I did not have the mental capacity to think strategically. I'm still kind of working on that. Like it's not 100% there. So about all I could really muster up the mental capacity to do was just work on those recurring administrative tasks, like outside of my client work, obviously, but That's really all I could muster up the mental strength to deal with. So the second half of 2023, I did not work on the business once. I was fully in it. I worked in the business and I wasn't even all in. Not because I don't love City Girl Savings, because I do. I absolutely love City Girl Savings. I love our mission, our purpose, what we stand for. But because my focus couldn't be on City Girl Savings, it had to be on other things. But now, with a new year, my next level self really needs me to step it up. And one routine I will implement is devoting time each week to work on the business. And I want to combine that with getting a better calendar system in place. So, one thing that I have personally struggled with is my calendar. I've definitely gotten better over the years by factoring in one day during the week to not have any calls. So I can really use that time to just get some projects done, get work done without having to keep in mind that, oh, I have a call coming up soon or in a couple of hours. So sometimes I do break my own rule. Clients need some flexibility. Doesn't happen a lot, but I do need to make sure that I stick to this calendar system. I also don't want my calls to be randomly scheduled throughout the week. I want to have 2 to 3 dedicated call days where my focus can just be on client calls and client work. And that way, the other 2 to 3 days can really be focused on administrative and operational work and time to get strategic by working on the business. So I'm kind of keeping this habit or routine a little vague in terms of how much time and when each week, just because I have some real work to do to get my calendar system in place. It's definitely going to be a work in progress, but I can devote time every week, even if it's not on a set schedule. Like as long as it's an hour a week to work on the business, I can find an hour a week in my schedule to get that done. And I really think not only will it help me be my next level self, but it will also help take City Girl Savings to the next level. All right, moving on. The next habit or routine that I want to implement is to have a different date night every month. So I'm a Virgo, as you know, if you've been listening to this podcast a while, and that means I can get into a routine and stick with it. Now that can be really good or it can be really bad. Good because once the habit and routine is set, it's not going anywhere. Like it's ingrained in me. But bad because when that routine needs to be switched up, it could take me a while to realize it and actually take the action I need to switch it up. Unfortunately, that has become the case in my relationship. So my boyfriend Wes and I live together. We've been together for over 12 years and we have gotten into this routine of takeout and binging our favorite TV shows. And we do like going to the movies, so we'll throw that in the mix every now and then, but that is kind of a part of our normal routine. So I don't even count that as like a true date night. We don't usually go out to eat. We don't usually go on different date night activities, and that absolutely needs to change, especially if I want to become my next level self, because I see myself being with Wes and my next level self will also be with Wes, right? So this is something that we need to do to protect and grow our relationship. And I know that if I take the lead on this and plan different types of date nights or date activities, he will follow suit. So that's exactly what I plan to do. Every month, I will plan a different date activity to just help us break out of our normal routine and spice things up a bit. And he's probably not going to hear this. By the time this episode comes out, I'm hoping like this date night is scheduled or already happened. But for January, I'm vowing that he and I will take a cooking class. I actually found one that does a 4-course Italian meal and you can bring your own wine. So I'm putting like the stake in the ground. And that is what we're doing in January. And then in February, it'll be something different. All right. And the final routine that I want to implement to become my next level self is monthly goal reflection and assessment. So the final next level habit that I want to add to my life is one of monthly goal reflection and assessing. I am so good with setting goals. Like I have setting goals down. I'm great about using the last few months of the year to reflect and plan my goals. But what I'm not great at is consistently reviewing my goal progress throughout the year. So I have a spreadsheet that I've routinely updated at the end of the month, but it literally takes me 5 minutes and I don't really do anything further than data entry. My next level self needs more. Starting at the end of this month, not only am I going to track my goal progress per usual, but I'm actually going to think about what the data is showing me. I'm going to think about what is working as I am working towards my goal. What is not working? What do I enjoy about working towards my goal? And what don't I enjoy about working towards it? I'm going to really take the time to think about these things so that I can move forward from a place of enjoyment and positivity and focusing on what actually moves the needle. I'm going to get real about the importance of the goal that I set and why I set it in the first place, just to make sure that it's still in alignment. So kind of like I mentioned earlier, I'm very much a one-track mind, set a routine and it sticks. And so in the past, that has caused me to work on things that maybe I shouldn't even be working on. So I think this practice of looking at the goal, coming back to the why behind the goal is really going to help me make sure that I'm spending my time doing things that are really going to help me become my next level self. I also think this will help me reach my goals faster, or at least help me come up with new and different ways of working to achieve that goal, right? Even if my critical thinking capacity increases with this new routine, it's absolutely worth it. So there you have it. One trend across all of these next level habits that I plan to implement is intentionality. I really want to be more intentional with my time, how I spend it, who I spend it with, and making it quality. Quality time is actually my love language, and I can use it to show myself some love too. So I want to leave you with an action to take yourself. So think about a habit or routine you can implement to work towards your next level self. Write it down and make it a point to actually implement it. You won't be alone. I'll be right there with you implementing these 6 next level habits. Thank you so much for letting me be the money coach in your ear today. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the City Girl Savings Podcast and you feel empowered and motivated to take the next step in the journey to your dream life. Remember, if someone like me, a millennial who loves to travel, new experiences, and iced coffees can live a life they love on a budget, you can too.